Midnight Ramen is a minimally edited, live recorded podcast that takes place at midnight. Although Michael may not be consuming food, it's time to get your bowls out. It's chow time.
Welcome back to you. Freak stride, sailing me. Free falling, choose my enemy. Free from the things you say. It will all come back someday.
Good evening once again. It is midnight here. Good evening and good morning. You're listening to Midnight Ramen with me, Michael. The livecast, I should be more specific. I've been thinking about how I'm doing the intro a little bit before this, and I just kind of threw that out the window because, like, I'm a dumbass. I really didn't think. But that's okay. That's all right. I hope y'all are doing good. I got a haircut if you're watching the video. So it went from, like, kind of going over my eyes, covering it a little bit, to not. It's not even near it. But yeah, it's been a bit of an eventful week for me, but we got some stuff to talk about on this episode. The title, at least from what I'm thinking of, is just going to be the biggest L for the OGL. There's a reason for that. I'm going to be spending quite a bit of time on talking about the D&D Dungeons and Dragons OGL, the Open Gaming License 1.1, just kind of looking through that whole fiasco because I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. Like, of course I'm going to talk about it. Duh. I'm stupid. What do you think I'm going to do? But no, there's been a lot of controversy about that, and I want to, like, actually spend some time looking and reading it, and just seeing some of the stuff, because there have been some updates on it. I just kind of want to look at the original work that I have pulled up right now, and then there have been two real major updates that have been posted on that from Wizards of the Coast, pertaining to what has been going on and the incredibly, like, large amount of backlash that they have been receiving. But yeah, let's get into it. So a lot of the OGL, and the main basis that, like, people are getting so mad about this is that, or that what they were really mad about is that it basically takes anything that any third-party creator, even like any person like you or me that makes content for D&D, whether you be a content creator or just like, hey, I put out a subclass on D&D Beyond, they can basically use that without crediting you at all, and you get nothing out of it. Or or if you do get credited for it, they're taking a huge cut out of that. And yeah, that's bad. That's really, really bad for a lot of reasons. But let's get into it, because I want to see what exactly the wording on this that gets at it. My background coming from like a music background, when I went to college, we had to take a copyright class, and this is some major. I mean, it's kind of trademarking, copyright. Trademark and copyright are two separate things, but they're kind of similar in a few different aspects. Could I tell you what they are? Maybe, but I don't want to screw it up. But this is a lot of things that are just like incredibly hard. uh, yeah. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The first couple pages are just basically an intro to it. There's like 15 pages. I'm not going to go through all of it. I'm just kind of skimming it on looking for all of the dangerous words that are on here. And I think I started I think it was works created that like really catched my eye. Was it that or was it a different one? I can't remember where it was. Uh but there's a lot of like even like one like line things that can be like, oh yeah, like 4 words, like literally 4 words can mean the difference from you owning it and them owning it. And there's quite a few clauses in here that do that. At least from like a basic simming that I did a little early, but I didn't like fully look at it, so we're going in absolutely blind. uh, so subjects A, just content covered, usable D&D content, licensed content. Okay, so that's the basic stuff that we already knew, 5th edition stuff. Uh, you make content compatible with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. So, which is odd that they say that licensed content for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, where they're moving to a new system with D&D or 1D&D, which kind of is 5th edition but also isn't. So I don't know if that would mean that this is just absolutely bullshit and means nothing, or it's just like saying, hey, this is what it would be right now, and there's going to be versions later, blah 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 blah, that they do that. And you can do that. You can add like things later on. That's why like you can terminate contracts. You can add onto contracts. You can revise contracts. And this is literally a contract you are signing to the patron of Wizards of the Coast, and you are a warlock, not a good warlock. And if you sign this, you're stupid. Or at least the state that this thing was in, the leaked version of it. Uh, Non-usable D&D content, unlicensed content. This is Dungeons and Dragons content that has been or later will be produced as official. That is released by Wizards of the Coast or any of its predecessors or successors, and is not presented in the SRD version 5.1. Unlicensed content included things. I think the 5.1 is D&1 D&D, from what I think they're saying. So basically spells, stuff like that. Like most spells, content over the years, and what the old open gaming license referred to as product identity. Unlicensed content is not covered by this agreement, and you agree not to use unlicensed content. Wait, what? Unlicensed content not covered by this old agreement. Wait, unlicensed content is not covered by this. Oh, not covered. Okay, unlicensed content is not covered by this specific agreement, and you agree to not use that unless you use the use is specifically authorized by a separate agreement with us. Us meaning Wizard of the Coast. If you want to include the content in your work, you must go through Dungeon Master Guild or other official channels. Weird. Your content. These are characters, classes, settings, spells, blah, 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 blah. They are your original contributions to the work that you want to sell. This license permits you to combine your content with the licensed content. License covered. This is create role playing. Blah, 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 blah. To be clear, the OGL non-commercial allows for creation of RPG games and supplements, printed media, and static electronic formats. So basically online stuff and paper. It does not allow for anything else, including but not limited to videos, virtual tabletops, or VTT campaigns, computer games, novels. Oh. It does not allow for anything else. So basically, they are staying away from things like campaigns and stuff like that. Virtual tabletop campaigns, computer games, novels, apps, graphic novels, music. Okay, You may engage in these activities only to the extent under the or separately agreed between you and us. You meaning the consumer, and us meaning Wizards of the Coast. Uh, you can do that, but that just sounds stupid. So you can do that as long as they're okay with it, which I totally get, but at the same time, it's like, this is our stuff. What do you mean by that? Licensed content where for unlicensed OGL commercial must meet all four requirements. Does not contain unlicensed content. Oh my lord. Ownership. You agree that we own the copyright, trademarks, patents, patent rights, if any. Holy fuck. I think that's the line. I think that's the line right here. You agree that we, Wizards of the Coast, own the copyright, trademark, and patent rights, if any, in the licensed content and unlicensed content. So anything that they didn't make, or like, so what I'm getting from this is that any content that they put out, obviously, of course, they own it. Oh, wait. How did I do that? How did I do that? I went back. No. No, what the heck? Bad. Where was I? Okay. So basically, anything that they have put out and they haven't put out is theirs, period. Okay, that makes sense. But that also could technically mean, and I might be a little bit spitballing here, but like, that could also mean people that post shit on their website, D&D Beyond, is theirs. You're just giving up your rights. We reserve all rights to not expressly given to you through this agreement. You agree to include any copyright or other rights notices included with the license trademark. Why am I'm reading some OGL stuff. Oh, this is horrible. You must identify your licensed works or content is licensed content. Okay. Oh my god, this is just bad. Sure, like, we are letting you use licensed content for free because you are using it as a non-commercial basis. If you want to protect your ownership, you may register under the OGL. Commercial. You agree that others can do the same with your work. That means each time you distribute or otherwise make your work available, you must offer receipt license. Oh my god. You may impose upon others in terms, alter, restrict, or otherwise change the terms. Oh my gosh, this is nasty. Oh, donations. Your distributions of your work must be non-commercial. That means you cannot require that anyone give you anything of value in exchange for your works or copies of your work. However, you are permitted to accept donations through Patreon, Ko-Fi, or other similar platforms, provided that donations are not a condition of the receipt of your work, and you make that clear and obvious to your donors. In other words, if you make your work available for free and ask for others to contribute what they like to, that they like to use, what? Others contribute what they like to you so that you can continue to do so, you're fine. But any of your work to subscribers, Patreons, or other people who give you money to access, okay. So basically, if you're doing like if you do like, hey, if you put out content for free, but like if you pay, I can't remember what the exact term is, pay what you like. There's like a shortened term for it, but pay for what you like, you're absolutely fine. I don't know, must be non-commercial. I think it's either got to be obviously for a charity, but from the wording of it, yeah, you are permitted to accept permission, so you can technically make money off of it as long as it's, the content is for free. And if say if you want to pay donate, you can do that. But you can't do like behind paywalls, like say an OnlyFans or Patreon or something like that. You can't do that. Because that would be under revenue. The that makes sense. But I think that's just kind of a loophole that you can just use to get around. But there are a lot of things and companies and stuff like that's not livable. Um, but you can definitely for sure like suggest, if you do like that way, like the donation way, that you could say, hey, suggested donations like $5 or $10, something like that. You can do that. You don't have like your players don't or players or contributors or whatever don't have to actually do that, but it still remains that you might not get money from that. Ask of you, and this is just disclaimers. Obviously, they want to make sure that you want to comply with any requirements. That if you're going into this, you want to make sure that you're going into this. A lot of the times when you're reading legal documents like this, you want to read them carefully, and you want to make sure if you do sign with it, there is going to be red flags anyways. There's always red flags, but there's always going to be that. But when you want to make this, I like, because they're making sure that you are consenting to what you're doing. That can be left out if you're that can be left out. But it doesn't really need to be in there, but like some of this is definitely a lot of like good information that you should know and have on a legal document like this. You will not violate the law in any way relating to this agreement. Basically, that's just a termination. I think you would want to go a little bit deeper on this in part 7, section G. You will not violate the law in any way restraining to this agreement of your licensed work. So basically, you don't want to break the law, don't break this. But they don't really give any consequences as to that. I mean, it's a little vague, because of course there's going to be consequences to you doing something stupid. Fuck around, you find out. That's just duh. But at the same time, yeah, I think that kind of goes into 8. Termination. You will not attempt to circumvent or go around this anyway. Again, another termination thing. But there are loopholes. As I just said before, they kind of just put it in writing that you can kind of do it. But yeah, like you can say it's on Patreon for free, but for $1. Wait, actually, no, you can't do that, because that would be behind a paywall. So never mind. But yeah, you can do a lot of suggestion thing and stuff like that, because I feel like from what they've just put out, you are absolutely fine to be taking that. And I'm pretty certain like sites like Ko-Fi, Patreon, stuff like that do take a cut of what you get from donations, things like that. Pretty much everything does. Like Twitch does, YouTube does, every because they're companies, they got to do that. They got to make money somehow, and that is the way that they do it. And of course, modification is OGL, an update to poo 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 pee pee poo poo, doesn't matter. So yeah, you infringe upon misuse of intellectual property, violate any law. Okay. Oh yeah, thank you for stopping by, Emma. Real nice. Thank you for infringement any intellectual property, violate any law relation to your activities under this agreement. We determine the sole discretion that you have violated section. Oh yeah, I literally just talked about it. I literally just talked about it. To be clear, we have the sole right to decide the conduct violates. They have the sole right. I mean, yeah, that does make sense, but at the same time, uh, um, in other contracts that does kind of make sense, but at the same time, I think because of what was it? There was a that we own the copyright. You have the power authority to enter this one. Required to pay for document. Uh, that we own like up. I can't remember where it was up here. We own the copyright. It's like we own the material. It's like, dude, seriously. You may terminate this agreement at any time, ceasing all distributions. So you do have a way of getting out of it, which is good. Um, some contracts you're stuck. Like you have to literally break them to get out, and there's a lot of big fines for that, and you don't want to have that happen. uh, yeah. So you may terminate this agreement. So that's good of them that they actually had that you can terminate it at any time. Like you yourself can say, "Hey, I want out of this," and you're good, which is really cool. Uh, okay, this is I think a win on this part. Uh, because I think this is the part where they talk about like, oh, not being discriminatory. So let me just read this one. We know that this may come off strong, but this is important. If you attempt to use the OGL as a basis to release blatantly racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, bigoted, or otherwise discriminatory content, or do anything we think that triggers these provisions, your content is no longer licensed. Now, this sentence here is kind of ironic because in the last, wait, technically last book that they put out, I'm not saying the Dragons one, I don't know if the Dragon one technically did already come out, but in Spelljammer, the Haduzi has their background is very problematic. Very problematic. And Wizards of the Coast is no stranger to these kinds of topics by accident either intentionally or unintentionally doing one or more of these. Because like there's like a whole thing about orcs being labeled as like black people or something like that. Yeah, or like them insinuating that. Um, the slavery with the Haduzi is the latest one, but like I don't know. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but even I can. It's I get it. I totally get it. But neither here nor there. Your obligations pay, but it's good of them to be clear on that. But I feel like they need to be doing that. It's no longer. But that's good. So if you violate this, it is no longer licensed. To be clear, we want to and will always support creators who are using the OGL to help them explore sensitive subjects in a positive manner. That's always good. But we will not tolerate materials to consider any to be in any way in counter to the spirit of D&D. Additionally, we waive any right to sue over our decision on these issues. I don't know why they capitalize like our, just to be proper, I guess. It's like it's in the middle of the sentence. We're aware that if somehow stretch our decisions, that is not our blah, 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 we will receive community pushback. Wait, hold on. We're aware that if we somehow stretch our decision, what is not unobjectable under these clauses so far, we will receive community pushback. Bad PR. And we're more than open to being convinced that we made a wrong decision, but nobody gets to use the threat of a lawsuit as part of an attempt to convince us upon termination. To convince us. D upon what? Huh? What? Must D upon? Huh? Oh, D. So this is supposed to be a different section. This is more just basically crap, like saying, "Oh yeah, it's done, it's done." Okay, other products. Sometimes we can't like mines that we can't cancel our products that'll be licensed similar to. We agree to prohibit the selling, promoting content. Oh, you own the new and original content you create. You agree to give us. Okay, here's where it is. Here's where the big line I think comes in. Especially for creators, like say if I decided to make a video saying like, oh, here's a character I want to make, here's or like a subclass or content that or story that I want to make. Technically, I own the like intellectual property, the idea of it, but they can technically you own the new original content you create, but you agree to give us a non-exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide, sub-licensable, royalty free license to use any of that content for any reason. So let's say I create a monk subclass. It's really good. People like it. And it gets attention from Wizards of the Coast. They can just use it. I can't get any, like, I might get a check or money from that initially. But any royalties or stuff like that, I don't own it. That's crazy. And it's one thing if like, someone from Wizard of the Coast that actually works for Wizard of the Coast, but it's another thing that if like a third party person does it. That I think is a very big no-no. For clarity, nothing contained in this section impacts your agreement, license content, or anything else you are not otherwise unexpressly offered to use under these terms of agreement. So yeah, I think this is probably the biggest red flag for third party people because you're just basically saying like, yeah, you own it, but you don't get money from it. If you're signing this. Ouch. And of course they do like profit stuff. Yeah, that's not good. For clarity, nothing contained in this section of patch agreement. Limitations of liability. We have no liability to you for any types of damages in connectivity with your use of the licensed content, including without limitations of indirect consequential special exemplary damages. So as long as our conduct at it, as long as our conduct at issue is grossly negligent or intentional, was not grossly or intentional. Okay, I was just saying like, just I think that's more just to cover their ass. We're giving you a license, not agreeing to take on perpetual liability when we do so. To be honest, we're not really sure what we could do while making Dungeons and Dragons content available to you that you could ever be grossly negligent. But our lawyers say that we need to include this last clause under Washington law so it goes. That is so funny. We don't know why we have this last part in, but it is. Oh my god. That's so funny. Oh my lord. Oh my gosh. That's so fucking funny. It's like, we don't know why we wrote this, but our lawyers told us to do so. Oh my gosh. That's just hilarious. Oh. Miscellaneous notices any email. Entire agreement reliance. This agreement governs your use of licensed content unless otherwise stated in this agreement. Any prior agreements between us or along. Oh, that's cool. So basically, says fuck you to the old LGO, which is a red flag. This agreement consists only of the terms expressly included herein, and not any matter expressly induced therein. For purposes of clarity, the introduction, proceeding of the agreement, and the comments and explanations accessible to these blah blah blah. Okay, that's just saying. And then updates, because you got to have that. No waiver rights. If we fail to exercise any right we have under this agreement, that failure will not prevent us from exercising that right in the future. So basically, I think it, like, if we fail to exercise any right we have under this agreement, that failure. Okay, so basically, if, like, say I did, I went against the agreement and it went under the radar. That's just saying that, like, it's not that they can't do it, or, like, if I did it and say if you or somebody else, like, it and then went, let me start again. If I more or less violated the OGL, and it went under the radar, but that you did the exact same thing under the OGL and got caught, and they still have the right to, press charges on, or, like, go after you, even though they failed to go against me. So it's like, yeah, it's basically like you can't put blame on another person, but they can still enact it, I think, in a way. Not saying it that way, but I am saying it that way. The rights granted to you under this agreement are granted solely to you and to you, and transfer those rights to any other person or entity unless we give you the written permission to do so. We, in our sole discretion, will determine whether to allow you to transfer the rights granted to you. Okay. It's real legalese stuff. Textbooked, I would say. And it's just like, I think it's just repeating crap. Okay. Let's go to, it will be official. Okay, yeah, this is already put in. I don't know why it's just repeating. Wait, no. There's still more. I don't know why there's still more. What the hell? Oh, commercial. Okay, there's a commercial one. Yeah, I think, yeah, there's a lot of it, but, like, I don't want to go through all of it. There's commercial stuff, payment. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, royalty stuff that's just, like, absolutely buttfuck wild. But the main one from the top that I was reading from is more from a perspective of, like, us as a player, not intentionally doing it as a business or trying to make money off of it. But these, like, later down in this line are, like, companies and corporations and third-party businesses that are either creating content or this or that are putting out stuff to do that. So yeah. And there's a lot of big things that go on with that too. Just like if you get to a certain amount, they take like 20% off and then, take more. Which kind of in a way does make sense, but at the same time it really doesn't. So if you make... Yeah. There's a lot of, like, legalese stuff with that, and I really don't want to get into it, because that's just a lot. That's just a lot. I mean, a lot of money. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's just a lot. But let's look at the update. So people got really pissed about this. Like, really mad. So this was put out 6 days ago. 7, really. I don't... Technically 7. Put out a week ago. After, like, over, I'd say, a week of backlash. And the response says, we initially conceived of revising the OGL. It was with 3 major goals in mind. First, we wanted to prevent the use of D&D content for being used for hateful and discriminatory products. Cool. You already did that. You already have. Ironically enough. There's more preventing stuff. Second, we wanted to address those to use D&D and NFT sort of stuff by making clear that the OGL is limited to tabletop role-playing games such as campaigns, modules, and supplements, which is good because, I mean, I get it, but, like, who asked? Who asked? Like, why would you want to be making NFTs for D&D? What are we? The Paul brothers? Like what? Like Jake? Like are we Jake Paul? Is it Jake Paul I'm thinking of? That did a Crypto Zoo or tried the Crypto Zoo scam? Dink doink. Dink doink. That's a funny one. Dink doink. And third, we wanted to ensure that the OGLs for the content creator, the homebrewer, the aspiring designer, and our players, they really didn't care. Not major corporations to use for their own commercial and promotional purpose. There's a lot, like, so basically you're screwing over small companies, small businesses, so that bigger companies have the money to actually be able to do this. Bruh. Driving these goals was simple. One, our job is to be good stewards of the game. Funny. And two, the OGL exists to benefit the fans. Nothing about those principles have wavered for a second. I mean, it's good. It's good. You want to be good stewards of the game, obviously. And the OGL does exist to benefit the fans because you want to make sure that they are protected. But also, and I get that Wizards of the Coast should be able to make money off of stuff like this. They should be. Because, like, but to the extent that they are getting it from the OGL that they're putting out is way too much. It's just overkill, to say the least. This is the early draft of the OGL, included the provisions that it did. The draft language was provided to content creators and publishers so their feedback would be considered before anything was finalized. Not in the way that they actually put it out. Nope. Because a lot of people looked at it and it looked final. In addition, the language allowing us to address discriminatory and hateful content, don't care. We already talked about that. However, it's clear that the reaction we rolled a 1. It has become clear that it's no longer possible to fully achieve these 3 goals and staying true to our principles. So here's what we're doing. The next OGL will contain the provisions that will allow us to protect and cultivate the inclusive environment we are trying to build and specify that it covers only content for TTRPGs. Okay. That means in other expressions such as educational and charitable campaigns, live streams, cosplays, virtual tabletop uses, etc., will remain unaffected by the OGL update. Is it though? Are you sure about that? Content creators, content already released under 1.0a will also remain unaffected. Not in the way that you said it. There was a literal clause in there that says anything in the past one is not done that way. I might be blind, but I'm pretty certain near the end of the thing it said that anything under that was null and void. Where was it? I think I remember seeing it. I can't remember. But there really was one. I could have sworn. Anyways, so that was a lie. What it will not contain is any royalty structure, which is a lot of the big thing that people were getting at, and I don't want to get into math right now. It will not also include license back provisions that some people were afraid of. That means for us to steal work, even though they would probably do that. That has never crossed our minds. Under any new OGL, you win the content. You will own the content you create. We won't. That is true. They said that. Any language we put down will be crystal clear and unequivocal on that point. They're true. They are correct on that. The license back, I mean, they were correct on that. That you own whatever stuff that you create. That is true. But they have a right to use it and not credit you and not pay you. So they can just steal your content. So that's cool. Uh, so technically, it's not your work. The license backlinks is intended to protect us and our partners from creators who incorrectly allege that we steal their work and simply because of their coincidental similarities. Yeah, but if you put something out after someone did and it's basically like copy paste, then it is illegal. As we continue to invest in the game that we love and move forward in a partnership, don't give a shit. The new OGL provisions will address that risk and will do with license back without suggestions you create. Your ideas and imaginations are that belongs to you. Yes, you should be having ownership to your intellectual property. Um, First and foremost. Uh, a couple of last thoughts. First, we won't be able to release the OGL because duh. On that day, no, of course they weren't going to do that because they got butt fucked hard. Second, we're going to hear people. You're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard. This is really them just being butt sore. Those people were only half white. They won and so did we. No, you didn't. You got caught putting your hand in the cookie jar, being greedy, and people called you out. People whistle blew, and they wanted you to fucking suffer. First, they did. First, I could go into. I could have a long podcast about the past couple years of Magic the Gathering. Like, even just recently, they were told by a literal market analyst that the way that they've been handling Magic the Gathering is not good. That even the freaking creator Garfield was like, yeah, make it a card game first, not a collectible game. And everyone fucking screamed. Uh, and he said that like at the 30th anniversary event where a lot of shit happened that was not good, and he said that off the cuff. Oh my god! And then this is showing. I don't think it's Wizards of the Coast that's really doing it. I think it's Mattel. That owns them is basically forcing this to happen. Because like I feel like some of that legal language, where was it that was like, oh yeah, we're giving you a license. Yeah, this segment where it says we're giving you a license. To be honest, we're not really sure what we could do. What we could do while making Dungeons and Dragons content available to you that could ever be grossly negligent. But our lawyers said so that we need to add this. I think that part is just the funniest shit, and I think it is true. Uh, but yeah, solicit content drafts. Blah, 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 blah. This is the draft. We love D&D's devoted players and creators, so we won't let you down until you do. So something that they put out hours ago by Kyle. Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm the executive producer on D&D. It's my team that makes the game we all love and play. I'm not going to do that. D&D has been a huge part of my life, and long before I worked with Wizards, and will be long after the time that I'm done. My mission and that of the entire D&D team is to help bring everyone creative joy and long-lasting friendship that D&D has given us. These past days and weeks we've been incredibly tough for everyone. As players, fans, and stewards of the game, we can't and won't let things continue like this. Good. Because I think this last message is just like basically broad stuff, but having it be from the executive producer, like you're putting a face to a name. He's taking a lot of risk by doing this. That's good. Not it's I think he's putting himself in a very vulnerable position, but let's keep going. These past couple days, I'm here today to talk about a path forward. First, though, let me start with apology. We are sorry. We got it wrong. Our language and requirements in the draft OGL were disruptive to creators and not in support of our core goal in protecting and cultivating in cultivating an inclusive play environment and limiting to OGLs to TTRPGs. Wait, what? Cultivating inclusive play and limiting the OGL to TTRPGs. They want to expand it. Wait, what? Then we compounded things by being silent for too long. I mean, honestly, it's better for them to wait, and come up with a good thing and put it out, explaining your thought process. I think they tried their best with this, because like this is like a week afterwards. The initial like response was a week afterwards, but I think it's better that they have the information they want to convey and put it in the right words in a whenever they can. It's better to get it right than have it done fast and sloppy. And that's a good way to go at it. And of course, it was based on a draft, which, yeah. We hurt fans and creators. The clear communications have prevented much of this. Starting now, we are going to do this in a better way, more open and transparent, with our entire community of creators. This time, to iterate and get feedback to improve. This sounds familiar because it is what we do with the game itself. So let's do it with the OGL here too. We'll listen to you, and then we'll share with you what we've heard, much like we do in our Unearthed Arcana and 1D&D playtests. This would be a robust conversation before we release any full any future version of the OGL. Here's what to expect. Before Friday, January 20th, we'll share the proposed OGL document before. Okay, this is how I think they should have put it out. I get that the press, people of the press should be able to be looking at it, but I think the way that Wizards of the Coast should be doing it is allowing for everyone to see what they're going to be doing before they put it out. Just blanket everyone, because the more heads you have, it's like a Hydra. The more heads, the better. In a way. Like, one head, like 100 people is better than one person working on it, in that sense. To get all that feedback. To review the revised OGL, you'll be able to fill out a quick survey, much like the Unearthed Arcana to playtest. It will ask you specific questions about the document that will include open form fields to share any of your opinion. This survey will remain open for about 2 weeks, and we'll give you advance notice before it closes that everyone who wants to participate can complete in the survey. Okay, so this is all good. Good shit. This is some real gourmet shit. Finally, you deserve some stability and clarity. We are committed to giving creators both input into and room to prepare for the update for the OGL. Also, there's a ton of stuff that isn't going to be affected by the OGL update. So today, right now, we'll lay out the areas of this conversation won't touch. I think this is a good idea because, like, the struggle thing I think with D&D, especially the way that they were going to be moving forward 1D&D, is that your play group or whatever is not going to always stay up to date. That's impossible. That's literally impossible. So giving out a warning in advance, like, hey, in 3 months, here's what's going to happen. It's better than saying, like, hey, next week, guys, we're updating it. You better have this ready, or like whatever you do is illegal. It's better to have, like, hey, here's a longer warning than just, short notice. But here's your video content. Whether you're a commentator, streamer, podcaster, live play cast member, or any other video creator on the platforms like YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, etc., you will always be covered by the Wizard fan content policy. The OGL doesn't and won't touch any of this. That is such good clarity. Your accessory. So even this podcast, which is basically most of it, is that no change would count as video content. Your accessories, uh, your accessories for your own content. No change in the OGL will be affected by to sell minis, novels, apparel, dice, or any related content creator thing. So accessories are fine. Non-published works, for instance, are contract services. Use the OGL if you want to publish your works that reference 5th edition content through the SRD. That means the commission work, paid DM services, consulting, and so on aren't affected by the OGL. Okay. Brain didn't want to work there. I'm just going to move on. BTT content. Obviously, any updates on the OGL will still allow any creator to publish virtual tabletops and will still allow VTT publishers to use OGL content on their platform. That's good. That's very good. DM content, DM's guild content. This content will release DM guilds published under a community content agreement with a Dungeon Masters Guild. This is not changing. Your OGL version 1.0a content. Nothing will impact your content you have published under that license. That will always be licensed under that. Your revenue. There will be no royalty financial reporting requirements. That can be okay. I feel like there might be a but there. However, well, I mean, hopefully it'll be in the draft that people can respond to. Your ownership of your content. You will continue to own content with no license back requirements. So that was already said and done with no license back requirements. That's all for me for now. If you hear it again before Friday, as described above, we will look forward to the conversation. Thanks, Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. Anyways, I think the whole thing with that is just, it's been a rough couple of weeks. A rough couple of weeks for fans of D&D. That even like, I feel like a lot of groups, like, because even like subtly, even before the OGL was put out, you had like big name DMs like Brandon Lee Mulligan. I think I already talked about it on the show, like Brandon Lee Mulligan, Matt Mercer, Erica Ishii. I don't know if I said that right. You had a lot of them coming together to make this new like content thing. I can't remember what it is. It's kind of like a play system, but also not, like a multiversal thing. I don't know what it is, but that came out like a couple of weeks before this happened, like a week or two. I can't remember, but still, it seems kind of suspicious that they knew about it. That I feel like that kind of hinted that they knew about it, because like I think they were like, yeah, you can use D&D, but you don't have to. I think that's what they were kind of alluding to. And then a lot of other third-party companies were basically jumping ship, like Cobalt Press. That's the main one I can really think of, that created their own new systems. And there's a lot of good systems out there, like Call of Cthulhu, Kids on Bikes, like Thirsty, I can't remember, Thirsty Sword something, Monster of the Week, which I think I printed the first version of that out, because around the time that what was it, the Adventure Zone Amnesty was being put out, I think it was like the end of my sophomore year of college. I printed out the whole fucking thing. The whole thing. Enough to do like an actual play group. It was nuts. Because like for college, you get a lot of like you get money into your account to like print stuff for like papers and things, and I didn't use it because like I didn't need to. So that's what I did at the end of the semester is just used it all up on that. Uh, I don't know if I still have it. I have it somewhere. I don't know where I have it, but I know I have it somewhere filed away, and I still haven't used it. So I might do something with it. Probably not. We'll see. But speaking of Wizards of the Coast, I don't have any magic cards today. I don't have any magic cards to do today, but I'm going to roll these 2 dice. And I want to get some magic cards. So, okay. What's going to happen? And I should probably show what I'm going to do because this is so fucking scary. And if anyone sees this, oh my god, this is so scary that what I'm about to do. I'm going to kill some of these extra tabs. This is going to be very scary, in my opinion. So what's happening? That Crown... Oh yeah, Crown Zenith is coming out. Oh yeah. So let me go to Magic. Let me go to here. What's going to happen? Oh my god, actually, they're pretty good. Prices of this are pretty steady. So I'm hovering over this. Why? Why, you may ask? How many boxes I'm gonna get? So I have 2 dice. If I get anything, wait. So obviously the max amount is 12. 12, I get 3 boxes. You know, I think lower third, middle third, upper third. 1, 2, 3. That's how many boxes I'm getting. Booster boxes. I am not shitting. This is very risky. And I'm unironically hoping for 3. Why? One I'm going to open for like streaming just other stuff. Another one I might draft with. Because like I want to have friends to draft with because that'll be from what I've been hearing, it's a very fun draft experience. And the third one, I'm going to hold on for years and maybe sell it off. Maybe not. Maybe use it. Who knows? But we'll see what happens here. On this roll of fate, see how many boxes I'm getting. I'm not actually going to like, I'm going to put in my cart, but I'm not going to go any further than that. So, oh boy. Oh my god, I'm scared. 5 and... Uh-oh. 5 and 5. Upper third. Oh no. I'm not gonna, for reasons I'm not gonna explain. I got 3 boxes in my cart. I'm gonna let you do the math on this one. 172. I might find a better price, to be honest. If I can, I'm gonna do that. But do that math. Times 3. Maybe some tax. I don't know. Free shipping, so okay. So tax is probably gonna be on there, but free shipping, yep. I'm gonna let you do the math. And I'm just getting away from this. I'm getting away from this. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm not saying that I didn't order it. I just don't want to be showing any of my card information online because duh. or shipping information. I'm not doing that. Oh boy. I did what I wanted to do, but I didn't believe I would do it. That's so scary. I mean, it's already past an hour, but I spent way too long in talking about the OGL. So I'm gonna end it off. I'm gonna end off the night, winding it down a little bit on a little lighter of a topic, because like this is just a lot. What I just did for the past like hour or so. Oh boy, it's a lot. And if you made it this far, you're getting this little treat. So here's my opinion on some of the top pizza toppings. If you're getting a pizza topping, and I'm not saying just like cheese. If you like cheese pizza, good for you. I'm not saying anything bad about you because like whatever. Just know that we're talking about toppings other than cheese. Like you can get other different, specialty cheeses on it, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. It's just cheese. It's just cheese. In essence. It's like, oh, you could say different meats. Oh, it's just the same meat. Yeah, but it's done differently. I mean, yeah, you can get like pearls and stuff like that, which are different cheese or whatever, this and that. But I'm not gonna count those because like that's not your traditional ones. So of the traditional stuff, I'll say pepperoni S tier, immediate S tier. Why? Because it's pepperoni. When you're ordering a pizza, and I'll say this, like it's the most common topping on a pizza, a pepperoni pizza. It works together. Duh. I think behind that is sausage, but I think sausage is not great on its own. I think with other stuff it's good, but on its own, I even if it's like spicy too, I think I give it like a B. I give it a B because it's something. It's not great. Uh, uh, ham, ham, ham. I feel like sits below it. Middle of the road C tier, middle of the road. I mean, it's good, but it's like it's just ham. I think it's an even worse case of like if you're gonna get a ham pizza, you're getting something with it, and typically if you're doing it that way, you're getting pineapple, which is an immediate F tier, in my opinion. And for some people, you may like it, but I just don't. I don't like the principle. I don't like the principle. Sorry, I just don't. Uh, but going on to non non meat. And we're not going into like, oh, if you're doing a different sauce, like chicken's good. Chicken's it's I would say it's an A tier. Chicken is an A tier. You can't have it with the other ones though. You just can't. You literally can't. You can put it on a pizza, like like a red sauce, tomato sauce pizza, but like why? It just doesn't like it. I guess it's more like a chicken parm, but like it doesn't feel right in my opinion. You can do that though. Although that does sound like a good idea because surface level it's just a chicken parm, but also not. I don't know how that would work. But like a buffalo chicken pizza, god tier. Barbecue chicken, who the fuck are you? But okay, that works. It works on its own. I'll give you that. Uh, like a, a BLT. I don't know. It's BLT. Bacon. Oh, bacon. Bacon. I would say, not the cat, not my cat. I will say bacon on a pizza is a. I'll give it a B tier. It's good and crunchy, but it needs something with it. Whereas I think, you know what, I'll bump sausage to an A, in my opinion, now that I'm thinking about it, because sausage you can have on its own, but it feels like it needs something. Like it's got that like it's good enough to be on its own, but like it's not bad if it has something with it. Am I wrong? No. Uh, Bacon, however, I feel is just under that. It's just under that. It's good and crunchy, makes your pizza's like real crunchy, but you need something with it. Uh, I think that's all the meat I can think of. Uh, so vegetables. Vegetables, I'll say onion. Onion pizza, like onion on its own, you need stuff with it. You really need stuff with it. That I'll say it is a C tier or even D. I mean, I personally like onions. If you have it something with like say a sausage or pepperoni, it works good. If you because like if you put it on top afterwards, which I haven't really seen, but like if you put it on the pizza itself, it gets like crunchy, crispy. So you know what? I'll give it a C tier. I'll give it a C tier because it's good and crispy, but it needs stuff to be good. It needs stuff. Uh uh Peppers. A tier. You know what? A, maybe S tier. I think the peppers are the best things to get on your pizza. Um, whether just like bell pepper. I'm saying I should specify bell pepper, something like of that caliber. Um, Something on the low end of spiciness, but that's big enough and crunchy because like you can have that on its own and it's fine. It's perfectly fine, perfectly fine. But with other stuff, it's like it's awesome. It's really good. Um, in that regard, I think it's like comparable to sausage in that sense. So I will say it's an A tier, maybe above sausage, but I'll put it on that like same level of it. You can like again, you can have it on its own, but like it's not like iconic like a pepperoni pizza. Let's be honest. Uh, Mushrooms, you can sneak it. If you sneak it on there, it's good. If you have like sausage, you can sneak mushrooms in there, and I'll eat it. My opinion. I don't really care for mushrooms all that much. Uh, I think it's a good alternative for meat if you're not into that. Uh, of course, it's a good vegetarian option. I would say. Uh, I can't really say all that much. And there hasn't been a lot of experimenting with I from what I've seen with mushrooms, which I feel like there can be a lot of good opportunities for like different variations and uh whatever is with mushrooms that like, oh, this one is like has a really meaty texture, stuff like that. Have that be a thing more, but like you don't really see it in like the common like, oh, Pizza Hut, your main stuff. Uh like you got to go to like a fancy store or do something like that to find actual different mushrooms like truffles, something like that. Like you can't at like a normal pizza place find various mushrooms on your pizza. Uh so in that regard, I feel like there's a lot of potential, but it needs something. I'll put it in a B. I'll give it a B. Uh a low B for me. But I'll put oddly enough above that olives. Olives you can okay, olives you can have on their own. It's not great. It looks disgusting in my opinion, especially if you like have black olives on their own on a pizza. It's just like, who hurt you? It's like, who hurt you? Why are you doing this to yourself? Well, I do like I don't care about olives, like olives, mushrooms I don't care about. However, why I would put olives above mushrooms is because like they have that flavor of like, oh, they're salty and they add a little bit of, you know, depth to your pizza, like more depth to the flavors that you're eating on top of your pizza. It is definitely a support. So I will still say it's like a B, but like just above. It's above mushroom in that regard. Uh, but yeah, an odd one I will say. Pickle. You need stuff to go with it because like meat or onion or something like that. But pickle on a pizza, it's decent. Because again, it's, you got that like crunchiness. It's like kind of like the, I feel like pickle is like the bacon of the vegetarian pizza because a pickle is very crunchy. Bacon on a pizza is very crunchy. Uh, and it's good. And it's got like that saltiness because like some, that briny, you know, bitter, like sour taste that you kind of get from olives a little bit, but you need stuff with it. I feel like it's not as common and like there's like pickle, like solely pickle pieces that I know that they do at the state fair, and those are they exist in my opinion, and that's all I can really say about that. Um, so I'll C, C, I'll give him a C. I think that's all I can really think about. Onion, mushrooms. Oh, jalapenos. Jalapenos. They're good with stuff. If you like spicy stuff, it can make or break. If you Jalapenos are definitely the make or break. If you like spicy stuff, it can make your pizza. But if you don't, it'll destroy your pizza. It is definitely not something that you want on every single kind of pizza. Um, but it does pair with almost anything in that regard too. Uh, without being like it can pair up, but it can be its own thing while pairing up. So I'll say that I'll put it in the middle. I'll give it like a C, just a middleist of middle C, because like if you love it or you either love it or you hate it, it's its own thing. It's but it needs to be with other things to be, in my opinion, decent. Because if you just have a jalapeno pizza, then what the hell are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Someone do like a pickle pizza or something like that. It's like, what are you doing? That's so odd. But yeah, I would put it in the middleest of middle C. And I think that's pretty much everything I can think of that comes to regards to basic pizza toppings. Uh, Obviously disregarding like cheese stuff like that because why? Yeah. Ah. So yeah, I again S tier pepperoni has to be. But that's my ranking of pizza toppings. Thank you for sitting. If you've made it this far, thank you for sitting through this. Holy crap. Like, goddamn. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. However way you're doing on this, you can catch me film these live on twitch.tv twitch.tv/ melted lyric original, all one word. No lower caps when you're typing it up because duh. Or you can catch it on my YouTube channel at melted lyric original, all one word, but capitalizing each word, all together, of course. Also, you can find me on TikTok, posting things there. I mainly do pack openings on there of Magic the Gathering, and I'm probably going to be doing quite a bit more of that in the future. And yeah, uh, it, yeah. So you can find stuff there. I'd like to thank Gradients for the use of their song "Used to It" off of the album "The Call." It is the last official song off of that album. Uh, I'm going up in the area. I might say hello to them when I'm up in the area. I'm going up to there in a few weeks to do stuff. Maybe see them, maybe not. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see. I doubt it, but I don't know. But I love my boys. They're as long as they're doing good, they're doing good. I probably have like a snap that I need to respond to from one of them at least. I feel like, but yeah. And thanks to you again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for doing whatever. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow, whatever thing that you want. Leave a review, comment. I already said that, right? Yes, I think so. Yeah. And I think that's it. I think that's it. So but again, thank you for if you got this far. Thank you for sitting through all of that. Gosh darn. This is probably the longest episode yet. And just to give a little update before I go, I was doing a stream the other day with one of my pals, Cam, otherwise known as Outsider FM, and we were playing Magic, and we used this thing on Twitch that's called the guest star feature that works really, really well with doing like streaming situation with that. So I'll give you a little peek at what it will kind of look like. It's not going to look exactly like this, but let me find it. If I have it up, I don't know. So something like this, but the guest star will be right down there. The guest will be right down there. So yeah, that's going to be really fun. Hope to do that in the future. I don't know when, but that will be a very fun experience to get guests on the show. And until then, we'll see. But it was such a good experience, and it was a good test run. So it is definitely going to happen in the future. If you want to be on that, feel free to let me know. Feel free to reach out and let me know. Because I am, as long as you're a good sport and you're not inappropriate, not going too nasty, I might have you on. I don't know. Depends. We'll see. Because you can literally add anyone. But that's only if you're doing it live. Or you could do stuff beforehand, but whatever. But yeah. But that's all. That's all I have. I'm going to go and play Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. So until next time, it's midnight somewhere else. But when it comes around to here, I'll see you there. Until then, bye-bye.
Different view. Oh, baby, now don't be scared, but don't get used to it. Yeah, when I told her I can't let go, when I told her I can't say no. Oh, baby, well, I was scared, but now I'm used to it. I was scared, but now I'm used to it.